Welcome everyone to the Virtual College Exploration for all New Jersey students, sponsored by the New Jersey Association for College Admission Counseling and StriveScan. Thank you for joining us today. A few housekeeping notes before we get started. You can utilize the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists and presenters will not be able to see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions that are happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule at njacac.org/virtualfair. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at that same website, so that's njacac.org/virtualfair. And now I'd like to turn it over to our presenters from Sacred Heart University.
Thank you so much. Let me just go ahead and pull up our presentation. All right, thank you so much everyone for tuning in. My colleagues and myself are going to kind of give everyone a 360 on Sacred Heart University, which we are located in Fairfield, Connecticut. And thank you for tuning in. So to get started, I just wanted to start with a little bit of kind of New Jersey knowledge. So at Sacred Heart, we love the Garden State. One of our core markets is New Jersey. We get a very decent number of students from New Jersey every year. Typically, we enroll about 315 to 340 students from New Jersey in each incoming freshman class, which this year made up about 28% of our freshman class was solely students from New Jersey. So since we are enrolling a good number of students from New Jersey, we actually split up New Jersey between 5 different admissions counselors in our office. So I thought I would start by just introducing each of the 5 admissions counselors. I wanted all the prospective students on screen to see who their assigned admissions counselor was. So to start with, I'll have my colleague Katie introduce herself.
Hi, thanks Courtney. Hi guys, hope you guys are doing good. So my name's Katie Radigan. I'm actually from Monmouth County, New Jersey myself. I also recruit in Monmouth, Ocean, Atlantic, Cape May, Cumberland, Salem, Gloucester, Camden, and Burlington counties. If you ever need to email me, that's my email right there, along with my work phone number.
Awesome, thanks Katie. And I would recommend for any prospective students in the audience, you can feel free to kind of take out your phone and take a little snapshot of each counselor when we get to your county, just so you know who your assigned admissions counselor is. So this is Katie. I'm going to move on to Sarah.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in with us today. We are so excited to have you here. My name is Sarah Lauer, and I have been with Sacred Heart Admissions Recruiting in New Jersey for almost 3 years now. This year, I have Bergen County. So my contact information is below. Don't hesitate to reach out. I'm really happy to connect, and I hope to meet you guys really soon, whether that's on campus or through a virtual interview.
Awesome, thank you, Sarah. Next up, this is me. My name's Courtney McHenry. I have worked with students from New Jersey for the past 6 years, actually. 3 of those 6 years have been here in the undergraduate admissions office at Sacred Heart University. And this year I'll be working with students from Mercer, Somerset, Middlesex, and Union counties. And my contact information is listed there. And then I'm going to introduce 2 other admissions counselors who recruit in New Jersey who are not on the presentation with us today. But the first is Bree Bono. She recruits in Morris, North Passaic, Sussex, Warren, and Hunterdon counties. And she is actually a double Sacred Heart alum. And then we have Gus Pfister, who recruits in Essex, South Passaic, and Hudson counties. And his contact information is listed there. So we're going to move on from our introductions and we're going to kind of start our deep dive into our presentation about Sacred Heart. So I am going to pass it over to my colleague Sarah again.
All right, guys. So here is just kind of some general information about Sacred Heart University. We were founded in 1963 by the Diocese of Bridgeport, and we were actually the first college, first Catholic university in the U.S. to be founded by the lay people, and that's why our mascot is called the Pioneers, and our mascot is named Big Red. Fun fact. We are also the second largest Catholic university in New England, right behind Boston College, with an undergraduate enrollment of about 5,600 undergraduate students and a total enrollment, including online, part-time, and graduate students, of about 9,000. So to get a little bit into the academics at Sacred Heart University, Sacred Heart is home to 6 colleges of study, and 5 of those colleges offer bachelor's and master's programs. So the first one is the College of Arts and Sciences. This is home to the most majors, which is why it is our largest college. Everything from your biology, your psychology, sociology, pre-law, criminal justice, pretty much most of the liberal arts majors that students go to college and major in. And within that college, we also have the School of Communication, Media, and the Arts. So that includes everything from our strategic communication majors, as well as our theater arts, as well as our art and design programs. We also have the School of Social Work within the College of Arts and Sciences. So if you're interested in social work, you can get your bachelor's and your master's degree through this college as well. Next, we have the Isabel Farrington College of Education. So this offers programs for students who are interested in teaching elementary as well as secondary education. And we do have the master's program. 30 of the 39 credits in this program are paid for by the district that you are student teaching in. So it's a really cost-effective way to get your master's degree in education through this program. Next on the list, we have the AACSB accredited Jack Welch College of Business and Technology. Jack Welch is the former CEO of General Electric, and we actually bought out General Electric's former headquarters, which Courtney is going to show you some photos of that in just a couple of slides. And within that college is the School of Computer Science and Engineering. Next on the list, we have the Davis and Henley College of Nursing. This program is direct entry, so that means that you would start from the first day of freshman year. You can transfer out of it, however, you cannot transfer into it. It's a spectacular program. We have simulation labs. We have excellent facilities for our students in this college to get hands-on experience inside of the classroom. And we have a 97% pass rate on the first try of the NCLEX exam on the first try. And then last but not least, we have the College of Health Professions. So this is for our students interested in athletic training, exercise science, maybe occupational therapy, speech language pathology. We have a doctorate of physical therapy program. And this also has a brand new facility that students are able to work in as well. Overall, at Sacred Heart, we have over 60 majors and concentrations, as well as undecided, over 40 master's and doctoral programs, many of which can be combined and accelerated. So what an accelerated program looks like is that you would take your undergraduate degree and make it 3 years as opposed to 4, and then go on to your graduate program. Now, overall at Sacred Heart, our average class size is 22 students, and our student-to-faculty ratio is 13:1. So you're always going to get that individualized attention inside of the classroom and get to know your professors. So on the next slide, we have a little bit more of the opportunities that are exciting academic opportunities available to students regardless of their major. The first one is the Thomas More Honors Program. This is for the student that likes to be academically challenged and would like to continue on with that during their college career. They do receive an additional scholarship in addition to their merit-based scholarship. They get to live in honors housing, And they also get to take some classes at the honors level throughout their undergraduate career. We also understand that the transition from college or from high school to college is definitely a big one. And we have put in a few programs to help make this process a little more seamless. The first one is the first year experience course. This is a course that we're teaching during the first 10 weeks of your college career, and it helps you build resiliency. It helps, you know, when you're going through this process of transition, deal with any conflicts that students might encounter during their freshman year of college. It helps you get connected to the university. It helps you understand, you know, the university mission, as well as learn a lot about different resources that are available to students. You'll also receive an advisor. So the freshman advising program is receiving an advisor during your freshman year that helps you navigate through this process. And then you will also receive an academic advisor from your program of study once you officially declare your major. In terms of some other academic opportunities, we do have the opportunity for students to study abroad. We have a campus in Dingle, Ireland, a campus in Luxembourg, and we have over 60 other programs in 30 other countries. It's a great way to completely submerge yourself in another culture while gaining that educational experience. All right, and now I'm going to pass it over to Katie.
Thanks, Sarah. So we do have a current student with us today. I would like to turn it over quick to Vanessa to introduce herself and tell us a little bit about herself.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining with us today. My name is Vanessa and I'm a current senior at Sacred Heart. I'm from NJACAC, New York, and I'm a STEM major for elementary education. I'm accepted into the 5-year master's program for elementary education. Aside from being a student ambassador here on campus, I'm involved in student government, education club, UNICEF at CHU, and Habitat for Humanity. So there's a lot of opportunities for you to get involved in, which is really great. When I was choosing to decide what college I wanted to come to, I was a little unsure. Because I was from New York and I want to be a teacher, I thought that I was like, oh, maybe I don't want to go to Sacred Heart because it's in Connecticut and I'll have to worry about transferring my credits and different things like that. But every time I came back, I just loved it. Everyone here is just so welcoming and kind. And I just knew that this was my home away from home. So I am so happy that I made this decision and I cannot love the school more. So yeah, I just love Sacred Heart and I would highly recommend it to anyone.
Thanks so much, Vanessa. So we do know that college is a little bit more than just academics. It's kind of 4 years. You're immersing yourself in a whole new environment. So what better way to get the best experience other than getting involved? So for students, we do offer over 60 plus clubs and organizations for you guys to take advantage of. We have student government, different academic clubs. We have fraternity and sorority life as well. 32 Division I NCAA teams. We are in the NEC conference as well. For students who are maybe involved in high school athletics, but they don't know if they want to dedicate their time to a Division I level, we do offer club sports and intramurals as well. Our club sports kind of runs at a Division III level, so it's still competitive. It's just not as time consuming as what that Division I level would look like. We also do have performing arts. So we have choral, a dance program, band and orchestra, and theater. So we also offer grants for those based on an audition. So if you are interested in getting in touch with one of our advisors for that, I definitely recommend it. We also have campus ministry available for students. Any student is able to get involved in campus ministry. It does not matter your religion. And we also do have volunteer programs. So Sacred Heart annually donates over 100,000 hours, whether it be locally or globally. And we do have a grant as well. It's called the Pioneer Service Grant for freshmen. And if they are interested in continuing that volunteering from high school to college, I believe you fill out or write up an essay, and then it's $1,000 for your freshman year if you donate 30 hours. And a little bit about residential life. So we do guarantee housing at Sacred Heart for all 4 years. We do require, though, the first 2 years that you do live on campus with us. Of course, after that, you have the option to move off or stay on. If you want to get a house or an apartment with your friends, by all means, completely up to you. We do also now offer virtual tours of residence halls online. We do also have in-person tours, but given the circumstances, we are not letting families into the residential halls just for the safety of our students and keeping everyone safe on campus. And we're also in the process of building new residence halls. So I'm going to turn it back over to Courtney to talk a little bit about the growth at Sacred Heart.
Thanks, Katie. So I wanted to take sort of this portion of this presentation to go through and show you some visuals. I'm a visual learner, so I love to look at pictures, look at visuals, especially you know, if any of you haven't physically visited campus yet, you want to kind of get a feel for what our campus looks like. I'll start by saying we have a very modern looking campus. Sacred Heart is in a great period of growth right now. We have built 10 new buildings in the last 5 years, and we do not seem to be stopping anytime soon. So I wanted to share with you some photos and some information about some of our newer buildings on campus. So to start, I'll talk about the Center for Healthcare Education. For any prospective students out there that are interested in the College of Nursing or any of the majors in the College of Health Professions, this is mostly where your classes will be held. This will be kind of your academic home for the next 4 years. So this building was just built in 2017, so it's only 3 years old. And it was built to be modeled around modern day medical centers so that our health profession and nursing students get that kind of real world feel when they're in the classroom. We do have a 3D cadaver lab. We do have several simulation rooms. There are several types of mannequins that they actually can program to sort of have different type of illnesses for our students to help cure. And also we do have a pregnant mannequin over there named Victoria. Yes, they named her. So that our nursing students, when they go through their pediatric rotation, they can help sort of go through the birth simulation without actually being in a live birth room. The next part of campus I'll talk about is West Campus. So as Sarah mentioned earlier, our Jack Welch College of Business and Technology is named after Jack Welch, who's the former CEO of General Electric. And GE's headquarters were just a quarter of a mile down the street from our campus up until about 3.5 years ago, when they moved their headquarters to Massachusetts. So at that time, Sacred Heart acquired that space, and now we have West Campus, which is the former General Electric headquarters. Sacred Heart has spent the last 3 years renovating that space to make it a little bit less like a corporate headquarters and more inclined for classroom and academic space. So any students that will be in our Jack Welch College of Business and Technology will have classes over here in West Campus. Now on the next slide, I'll show you some photos of the inside. So we have brand new academic spaces over at West Campus. The left-hand photo is just a little snapshot of our artificial intelligence lab. We also have a makerspace idea lab over there as well. So if we have any students tuned in today that are interested in computer science and engineering, it's good to know that we have an artificial intelligence lab and a makerspace. And then the right-hand photo is just an example of what some of our modern looking classrooms look like over there. I'll tell you, I'm actually a recent graduate of our Master's in Business Administration program here at Sacred Heart. So I did have classes over in West Campus, and the technology in every classroom is just phenomenal. They've done a great job with renovating the former General Electric headquarters. The next area of campus I'll talk about is our upper quad. So if any of you have visited campus recently, you probably saw a little bit of construction going on, and that is because we are sort of at the tail end of completing our upper quad construction. So our upper quad, once it's finished, will be home to upperclassmen on campus. They'll have a different array of styles of living, and it's going to be sort of 4 residence halls that are all going to connect. 2 of the residence halls are actually already complete. We completed them last January and moved students in. And then the last 2 are going to be complete in early 2021. So we're really excited for this space. They're also going to be putting a new dining hall in the upper quad. They haven't sort of announced quite yet what kind of dining it's going to be, whether it's going to be a fast food chain or an a la carte swipe dining hall. So stay tuned. We'll know what they're putting in that dining hall here soon. And then we have the Bobby Valentine Health and Recreation Center. If any of you in the audience are Mets fans, you probably recognize the name Bobby Valentine. He is our Executive Athletic Director here at Sacred Heart University. And about this time last year, we opened the new Bobby Valentine Health and Recreation Center on campus. This is our new gym and wellness center. So there is a gym inside. We have a rock climbing wall, a basketball arena, a golf simulator room. On this slide, I show some visuals of that. So you can see our bowling alley and the wellness center. There's also a smoothie shop in the Bobby Valentine Health and Recreation Center. We have Robeck Smoothies shop in there. So it's just been a great addition to our campus, and it's for all students, not just student athletes. And then one of my favorite buildings to talk about is JP's Diner. So some background information. Our university president, his name is John Patello. He is a New Jersey native, and he decided a couple years ago that he wanted us to put a New Jersey themed diner on campus, especially since we bring in so many students from New Jersey every year. So about 2.5 years ago, we opened JP's Diner. It's got a bow tie on the front because on any given day walking through campus, you can see John Patello in a bow tie. He has quite the bow tie collection. And we do have pork roll / Taylor ham on the menu and disco fries. So we're really proud of this diner. We're actually, we're the 3rd college campus in the US to actually have a diner right on campus. Which is great for our Jersey students. So you could leave New Jersey and come to Connecticut, come to Sacred Heart, but you can still have a New Jersey themed diner on campus. So now I'm going to transition a little bit and I'm going to talk about the application process for any of you who are rising seniors in the audience. So on this slide, I have listed our application deadlines. So this year we have early decision, we have early action 1, and we have early action 2. I do want to note that we are not a rolling admission school. So we have set notification days depending on which of these 3 decision plans that you choose. So for example, if you apply for early action 1 by our December 15th deadline, you will hear back by the last day of January. For any of our students who are looking to be in the Davis and Henley College of Nursing, I also want to note that our priority deadline for that direct entry nursing program is our early action 1, December 15th deadline. I would say our most popular decision plan is the early action 1, but it's up to you which decision plan you'd like to pick. Early decision is binding, whereas early action 1 and 2 are both non-binding. And then this slide shows what our admissions committee needs in order to make a decision on a student. So the parts that we need the common application itself. We are a Common App friendly school. We need your official high school transcripts, 2 letters of recommendation, test scores only if you would like to submit them. We are a completely test optional institution, so you do not have to submit test scores unless you want to. We've been a test optional institution for about 13 years now. And then we require an admissions interview if you're going to apply for our early decision binding decision plan. But otherwise, it's not required. It's highly recommended though. And I will tell you right now, all of our admissions counselors are doing virtual interview options. So if you're not quite comfortable coming and meeting us in person, that's okay. We understand given everything that's going on with the global health pandemic. We would be more than willing to meet with you virtually to get to know a little bit more about you. And then the average GPA of a student applying to our Jack Welch College of Business and Technology, our College of Education, College of Arts and Science, and our College of Health Professions is about a 3.4. And then the average GPA for an admitted student for our College of Nursing is a 3.7. And then lastly, I just want to touch here to let you know what's going on with our visit program. So Sacred Heart did open up again for campus tours in July. Our tours look a little bit different than they did before the pandemic. We are requiring that all prospective students register in advance for one of our campus tours. We have set up our campus tours to be smaller, so we do have limited capacity for each of our tour dates, but because of that, we offered additional tour dates throughout the week, and we do have tour options going all 7 days of the week currently. So you are more than welcome to come visit campus. Again, if you're not comfortable with doing that right now because of the health pandemic, we do have virtual information session options. As I just mentioned, you can do a virtual interview with your admissions representative. We have 2 more upcoming virtual open houses, and we're doing sort of a variety of virtual question and answer chats at Sacred Heart. And if you want to sign up for any of those, you can click that link, www.sacredheart.edu/visitplanner, and you will see all of our visit options. So that is the end of our presentation that kind of gave you a little 360 of Sacred Heart. I did want to leave some time, or my colleagues and I wanted to leave some time at the end to see if any of the students or counselors that are tuned in for this webinar, if they have any questions. So at this time, if you have questions, please type them in the chat. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now so I can see if we've got questions. Looks like we don't have any yet. So if you have any, please send them in. But I actually have a question for Vanessa, since we have a current student logged in for us. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about the meal plan options at Sacred Heart. I know that's one thing I was going over and talking about the new dining hall that we're about to add to our campus. And I was like, oh, I should have mentioned the meal plan, but it might sound better coming from a student who actually uses the meal plan.
Sure. So all freshmen come in with the Big Red Meal Plan, which consists of so many declining dollars and so many swipes. So depending on which dining hall you go to on campus depends whether you use a swipe or declining dollars. There are several different dining options on campus. We have 63s, which is more buffet style, so you would just swipe in and you could eat all day. If you wanted to stay all day, you really could. But like I said, that's buffet style, so you just go up and make as many plates as you'd like. We also have Linda's, which is more of a food court mall style option. So you would go to that particular station and get a specific meal and pay for that meal separately. We do have the diner on campus, which uses your declining dollars, and that's just your typical diner menu. As well as there are little options around campus as well. There's Einstein Bagels, where you would use your declining dollars. As well as the market at Sacred Heart, which is kind of like a little convenience store with a Starbucks cafe. There's also a Starbucks cafe inside the library as well. There's also some other dining options at West Campus and the Center for Healthcare of Education as well that you would use your declining dollars.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Vanessa. So it looks like we had a couple questions that came in, so we'll go ahead and answer those. So Anna asked, hi, in order to be involved with performing arts, do we have to major in a performing arts major? And the answer to that is no. Actually, Katie Radigan, who is on this webinar, is one of our admissions counselors who works with the performing arts programs on campus. And you don't have to major, you know, for example, if you're interested in theater arts and you want to be involved as a student in those productions, you can do that, and you don't have to major in theater arts. You could, you know, be in any academic program and be involved with performing arts. Katie, do you want to talk a little bit about the grants that go along with our performing arts programs?
Yeah, of course. So we do have the 4 grants, as I had mentioned, for the different performing arts programs that we have here at Sacred Heart. It's very easy to sign up to kind of do an interview with someone in performing arts. Typically, when happens with the grants is if you are interested in continuing it through college, you can be awarded money for that based on an audition. So you would just audition with the director of that program, and then they ultimately decide if you will be receiving the grant or not. And then it's just up to the student that if they want to maintain that grant throughout college, they just have to continuously be involved in the performing arts program.
Awesome. Thanks, Katie. We had another student ask a question as well. Alec asked about our environmental and marine science programs at Sacred Heart. So Alec, I'll tell you, I know that Sarah went over kind of our main academic colleges early on in the presentation. So environmental science and marine science are both housed in our College of Arts and Sciences. Vanessa, do you happen to have any friends who are in either of those majors?
No, not offhand, sorry.
I was just wondering. So essentially in those programs, they are BSs, so Bachelor of Science. And typically in any of our BS programs, such as biology, chemistry, the biochemistry major, students would have a lot of sort of lab classes. So, you know, you'll have your certain amount of credit hours per week, but you would also be in the lab doing those lab-related coursework. I would be happy to also put in, I believe that after this presentation, we're actually going to get all these questions emailed to us. So Alec, I will be happy to send you kind of a little snapshot from our website that could give you a little bit more information and give you the information of some faculty members as well that you could reach out to if you have questions about the program too.
So one cool thing I do want to mention with the marine sciences is that we do offer students to go over to Dingle, Ireland, where one of our campuses are, and kind of get involved with that. Students have that option to go for a semester and take courses and just kind of see it from a different angle.
Yeah, actually, and Katie, you brought up a good point. So we talked a little bit on study abroad. Sarah mentioned a little bit about our study abroad programs earlier. And I'll say one thing that's pretty unique about Sacred Heart is that we allow any student in any academic program to study abroad. And one of the reasons we're able to do that is because we have two of our own global campuses, right, in Dingle, Ireland, and also in Luxembourg. So for many of our students who are interested in any health science or the College of Health Profession programs, biochemistry, marine science, nursing, I mean, we allow any of those students to study abroad, and many of them will actually go to our Dingle campus, like Katie just mentioned. And then for our students that typically go to Luxembourg, any student is allowed to go, but I would say our students in the College of Business and Technology tend to gravitate towards our Luxembourg program. But again, if you're not interested in either of those study abroad locations, we do have over 60 programs in 30 countries, and you don't have to study abroad. You could stay on campus during your 4 years as well.
I'd like to add in that I studied abroad in Dingle for the two-week intersession in the winter. So that's also another opportunity if you didn't want to study abroad for a full semester. There are some opportunities to do a 2-week session in between the fall and spring semester as well.
Awesome. I didn't know that, Vanessa. That's great.
Also, with the marine science and the environmental science, we are right on the Long Island Sound as well. So I know that sometimes students will be able to get a lot of different opportunities in terms of their field work, you know, with studying like the Long Island Sound. And so there's a lot of opportunities there as well.
Thanks, Sarah.
Does anybody else have anything else, like any other questions that, you know, they were just kind of wondering about, maybe anything with the Common App, the application process itself?
Yeah, feel free to type any questions. We're definitely here. We wanted to make the presentation short enough so that we could allow for some questions at the end. So if no one has any questions, thank you so much for tuning in. We will stay on until 3:45. So if any questions come in, we'll continue to answer them. And actually, we just got a couple questions. Perfect. So Vanessa, this might be a good question for you to answer, actually. So Alec asked about freshman dorms. He wants to know sort of what is the size of a freshman dorm?
Yeah, so I don't know the exact like dimensions or anything like that, but depending on which dorm you are depends a little bit different. We do offer doubles and triples, so that depends. I personally lived in a triple my freshman year and there was more than enough space. So even if you are put in a triple, there definitely is enough space to have all of your belongings. I bring a lot of clothes and a lot of things and I had space for all of it, so I could definitely say that if you are in a triple, there's no problem at all.
Great. So again, if you have any questions, please feel free to type them. We'll stay here until for the rest of the time. But if not, thank you so much for tuning in to listen to us chat about Sacred Heart University today.
And we will stick around and answer any remaining questions that you do have. But for those of you who may be jumping off the call, just want to say again, thank you for joining us. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey, and we'd appreciate any and all feedback that you're willing to provide. Also, this was just one of many sessions being hosted, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions at njacac.org/virtualfair. And in about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other sessions at njacac.org/virtual. So thank you so much. And again, feel free to continue to ask any remaining questions that you may have.
All right, well, I guess since the next session. I know that this one ended in 5 minutes. Then many students hop to the next one. I guess we can go ahead and log off. Seems that there aren't too many left. But Vanessa, thanks so much for tuning in with us. It was great to have a current student perspective.
Of course. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah. Have a great rest of your day, okay? Enjoy the nice weather outside.
You too.
All right. Thanks, Katie and Sarah. See you soon.